Okay, I gave this song enough chance to change. Welcome, everyone. I thought there was going to be some kind of hook or...
No.
I don't... It keeps doing that. Welcome to Gang Stalking, the podcast.
Yes.
Welcome, everybody. And this is a very, very special episode. You know, Ethan, I think... to commemorate this episode and the fact that we've been bestest friends all these years, I would like to present you with this beautiful ceremonial dagger.
Oh.
It has, here you go, it has an insignia of the crucifix, and I had it made special to match this one I wear directly over my chest, right where my heart is.
I see. Well, that's very kind of you.
I thought that would be nice. Now,
I knew that we had talked about you potentially converting to the faith, so I'm glad to see you went through with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if you'll excuse me 1 second, I'm also going to hang up this framed poster of us. I'm just going to turn my back to you for a second, and I'm going to hang up this poster of us that I've captioned with the words "Best Friends Alive" directly over my mantle. So, So just here, let me do that.
You want me to stay? Want me to stay where I am?
Here, just let me hang this up real quick. Oh! 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 Oh my God! Oh, I got myself with a thumbtack. Oh, right on my index finger.
You okay?
My God, those things are sharp.
I'm glad. It's a good thing I was right behind you here in order to catch you when you fell
I don't even know why I was trying to use a thumbtack to hang up a framed picture. That's so strange.
It's not nearly large enough.
But anyways, yeah. Now our friendship is solidified. Oh, you stabbed me. That was the end of the bit. That was that was it. Is that what you wanted? Is that what you wanted to happen?
Now that's jokes.
Welcome, everyone. You have to give the audience what they want in the end.
Yeah, you need to look right at the camera and be like, now that's a joke.
That's called The Prestige.
I just watched a little bit of stuff from SNL in the early 90s.
Yeah. Well, remember what was the gay beer? It was called like Bud Light Gay. I don't know. That's
I was looking through it. And it's I was watching Master Thespian, which is a bit that I find pretty funny, but I was watching and I'm like, holy shit, my man Jon Lovitz is up there just straight bombing for 5 minutes. It's like the first 2 minutes of the skit, he doesn't even tell a single joke. It's a 5 minute long bit. He's made no jokes.
It's like a monologue? He's just talking, or what? Like what is he doing?
He's like writing in his diary, talking about how he's like the greatest thespian in the world and how he fell in love with his co-star, and it's like the lightest, most like inoffensive, boring comedy I've ever seen in my entire life.
And that sounds very Jon Lovitz.
And there's no the audience is barely reacting to what's on screen because they have a live studio audience, and it's like. You expect a live studio audience to be snapping at pretty much any joke that they throw out there. At least that's how they do it in the modern SNL. But apparently back then they would just let their people go up there and die. They would just leave them hanging.
Even after rehearsal, just fuck it.
Yeah, it was pretty excruciating to watch. Actually, I was like, please, somebody laugh. This is horrible. This is horrible.
Well, that sounds. Yeah. Anytime you watch SNL, it's probably going to be. Somewhere on the rough scale.
Well, I hate them now because of the way that they are, but like I feel pity for Jon Lovitz in a way that I simply do not for anybody else that's on the show now. Like watching a modern SNL person go up there and just bomb would be ecstasy for me.
Yeah.
But because that would mean that they would like not be on the show the next day because they would be canceled for some reason. They would be like
Sunday.
That's yeah, it's true.
You know, that knife bit was one bit I had planned.
What was the other bit you got?
Well, the other bit was actually, wait, what is? Do you hear that?
Oh, there we go.
Do you? What is that? Do you hear that?
He's revving it up. He's revving it up.
What is that?
He's revving something up here.
Is that a bag of coins? Is that a bag of coins I hear? Is that a bag? Is that a huge bag of money? That's weird. It almost sounds like a new fucking job. Oh shit! Big reveal.
Hell yeah, baby! Let's go.
Big reveal.
Congratulations.
I got a job offer that I'm gonna accept like tomorrow, and I'm gonna be doing the exact.
Are you quitting your current job?
Yeah, I'm not gonna have two. And
no, I'm saying, are you quitting and then because you're coming down here?
Yeah, quitting.
When do you start your next job?
I'm gonna ask him to start the Monday after I'm down there, so it's gonna work out perfectly.
Oh, badass.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be doing the same thing and making way more money.
Hell yeah, dude.
So I've had a long day because the people hiring me were very aggressive, which makes me a little worried, but it's fine. How bad could it be? So that's what I got going on. So I bought a bunch of fancy booze. I drove 20 minutes to the big beer store, and they don't have 40s anymore. They don't sell them in this region anymore.
No.
I am going to kill myself. But
before you do,
they didn't even have the apple cider I like, the British one. So, but they did have the same brewery. They make a apricot ale. Bought one of those. Ooh. And then I bought a really fancy, some kind of German red ale that's barrel aged from the grocery store. I wanted to buy an expensive
fucking beer. Skull, dude. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna open that at some point during the show. It's got a cork. It's got like a champagne top. I'm gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah.
You'll have to vamp for me while I do that. But
yeah. Well, you have a saber on hand, right?
I wish I had a saber on hand.
Well, now you got a new job. You can buy a bunch of them.
I'll warn you of a couple things. The first is that I'm going to get ugly drunk on this episode because I'm celebrating. I'm going to be uncomfortable. It's gonna be genuinely weird. I don't even care.
I'm happy for you, big guy.
And the other one is that well, this is actually a subset of the first things, and I'm going to talk about Saber in ways that are uncouth to the true king of England. And one of those things is that one time, I'm lying, it's not one time, but I'm aware of an image of a lady who's cosplaying as Saber, and she's in the not in the knight armor, but in the maid suit, like in the house with the long skirt, and she's on her tiptoes reaching up into a cabinet. And one time I just had it up on my computer monitor and I just looked at it for like an hour.
Oh yeah, dude. I was talking to a girl on Hinge today, and
wait, you call her your girl, but you still talk on Hinge?
Well, what's up?
A girl?
I was talking to a girl on Hinge.
Oh, I thought you said I was talking to my girl on Hinge. I was
no.
Why is she on Hinge still? That's crazy.
No. I was talking to a girl on Hinge.
Yeah.
And she had listed in her profile, like they have prompts and stuff, as you know, and they're like, and one of the prompts is how to pronounce my name, and she said to pronounce her name as Mommy. So I replied, "Wah." and it did work. She did reply. So
you got her attention. That's half the battle.
I literally, I went from a real cocksman. I went from being a person who was a cunt slayer, as they say, and it's been bone dry for. I guess it's been multiple years.
Wow.
And it's really getting to the point where I'm literally just completely willing to debase women in order to get what I want.
That seems counterintuitive, but I trust your methods.
You take the sliders on Hinge where it's like age range and you just move it down a little bit.
Minimum, yeah. What state are you in? What's the line?
Fortunately
can I
for
pretend
me,
I'm in Iowa and slide it down even further?
Fortunately for me, there's you're only, it's an 18 plus 18 plus application, and you'll never encounter any sort of person who's lying about their age. What else I got going? We came in on Godzilla. I just want to real quick. I have nothing to say about Godzilla really. I've been watching all the Godzilla movies with my friends down here.
Cool.
We just finished Mothra versus Godzilla. They are all the same movie every single time. It's getting kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, what'll happen is that a monster will show up, then Godzilla will show up.
Yeah.
Humanity will be like, oh my god, Godzilla's here. Godzilla will destroy a couple buildings. And then the new kaiju will fuck Godzilla up and then swim back out where they came from, and everybody will celebrate. And that's how every movie has gone so far.
I remember renting a Godzilla movie with my friend who was also named Ethan when we were like 10 or 11 and watching it at his house. And we didn't realize that it was dubbed. So we watched a dubbed Godzilla movie. And
oh, sure.
Maybe have you gotten to this one yet? It's the one that ends with a guy, he's on a balcony and he shouts, Gojira! And then Godzilla smashes him.
No, I'm not there yet.
Okay. We were like, damn, why? It was cool though. Yeah, good luck. There's a lot of those. Good luck with that. Yeah, I had too much going on today. I'm like shivering. I have too much energy. It's uncomfortable. I'm trying to drink myself into not having that. Anything else going on with you? Where'd you go? Are you gone? Hello? Let's see. Am I getting picked up? Yes. You're gone. It's your fault. It's on your end. Hello. Can you hear me? I think his internet died.
No. My internet weirdly did not die. I immediately was able to go use the internet. It just seems like Discord broke. It's fucking weird.
Oh, maybe it was Discord. Yeah, my I've been streaming the whole. There's been no break. Yeah.
That is strange because the first thing I did is I'm like, bring up any website, and it was fine.
You are cutting out a little bit more than usual. Like it seems like your internet might be a little shitty, or Discord is. Am I cutting out a bunch?
I think it's Discord. I haven't had any troubles with my internet recently, and I would know.
Do I sound weird in any way?
You sound fine. No, you sound fine to me.
Okay. You seem okay now. For a couple seconds after you came back, you're cutting out a bit.
Well, to go back to my Godzuki thing.
Yes.
No, I have not seen that particular Godzilla film yet. I will let you know when I get there.
Okay.
Generally, things really heat up in about the third act, where the kaiju fights.
That's every movie.
Yeah. Well, the thing is
the third act is exciting.
Well, yeah, but it's exciting enough to where I want to watch the next one. Whereas during about halfway through the second act, I'm like, there's no way that I can watch 32 Godzilla films. And then now here I am.
Jesus Christ,
dude! It's fucking crazy. And the thing is, it's something about the Godzilla movies where every time second act, I'm like, we simply cannot watch all of these. And then the third act comes around, and I'm like, I cannot wait to watch the next one. And during the second act where I'm like, we can't watch all these. We're scrolling through the list of the movies, and we're like, no, but that sounds good. No, but that sounds good too. And I just think we're going to end up like kind of limping through the entire series.
I'm very excited for you to revisit Final Wars because we don't remember much of that, either because it was boring and bad, or we were very, very drunk, or something, or both.
How did we survive? I mean, not that we were ever like insanely heavy partiers or drinkers, but like, actually, now that I should never ask how did I survive any period of my life based on like what level of consumption I had, because
we're not even close to.
It's not even in the same ballpark as like people. It's just that
we were. It was years ago and we were drunk and we weren't paying attention to the movies, so I don't remember.
Yeah.
Godzilla Final Wars. I don't remember.
Bloodsport.
I was just about to say Bloodsport. Yes, I was trying to think of the movie Bloodsport. Famously gone from my mind, except for Steven. He loves it.
Bloodsport's probably the most fucked up I've ever been watching anything. It's what else we got?
Yeah, the first time I got drunk, I tried to play Mario
VHS.
Party. Oh, did I?
Yeah, you didn't want to watch VHS. No, I'm sorry.
No, that wasn't it. No, I finished. Yeah, I finished. It was VHS.
You didn't want to watch It Follows. You also didn't want to watch It Follows.
Yeah, but I didn't leave during it. I just didn't want to watch it.
I thought you went swimming during that period or something. I don't remember.
No, that doesn't sound right. I don't think so. You did trick me into watching The Babadook, and I had my eyes closed most of the time. You told me we were watching Day of the Dead. And I was like, damn, this shot's fucking crazy for Romero 1982 or whatever. And then like 10 seconds in the movie, I was like, God, wait a second. You had renamed the file on me.
I was really into that.
Absolutely. You guys were files. You were so into yourselves. You were so proud.
I was really into renaming files at that point. There was one time, God, I don't know if I told this story on the podcast, but we had our friend come over and we were watching Gravity Falls. I was at college, and we were watching Gravity Falls, and we had a friend who was particularly susceptible to marijuana. He remains to this day the biggest lightweight I've ever met. It takes absolutely no...
Like he freaks out.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
now
gets
I know.
really
Now I know
high.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
And so he comes over to watch Gravity Falls. This is a man who literally passed out watching a movie. I was not present for this, but he had watched. My friends had put on VHS too, and they got to the best sequence of the film, the occult sequence. Yeah. And once the big thing happens, he literally stood up and started walking around, and then looked at everybody and said, "I'm going to pass out now," and then passed out. So anyway, we bring him over. I had cut into this episode of Gravity Falls a nuclear fallout warning.
I had a different. Okay, we have another friend who freaks out on weed.
Yes.
Now I actually know who you're talking about.
So I cut a nuclear fallout warning into this video, and it starts completely normally, and then during the middle of the intro sequence, it cuts to like warning, find a bee. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it worked like
take
a
shelter.
Fucking charm. It worked like a fucking charm, dude.
That's fucking crazy.
He's walking around. His hand on his head. He's like, "What do we do? Where do we go?"
That's ridiculous.
I never in a million years, because we threw it. We didn't like. There's no way he's gonna react to this, and it was perfect.
You were probably at best expecting like just confusion, but like the fact that he bought it is crazy.
It was the only person it could have worked on. because and like he's an intelligent guy, you know, like but when you get him high, he's vulnerable.
Yeah.
And weakness must be exploited.
Because we have our friend Connor who smoked weed while we watched fucking.
It was a Star Wars movie.
Well, yeah. Well, no, it wasn't. It Topher Grace's cut of the prequels we were watching.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah,
he smoked enough. He smoked weed, and he just literally
had like half a bowl.
Literally cowered on a couch. And
I'm in fucking Star Wars
because
dude.
he like and the noise was like assaulting him. I feel bad for him. Like I get it, but he was like in the fetal position on a couch, hiding his face the whole movie. And then I don't think this is related to weed, but I remember we watched Left Behind with Nicolas Cage. And Steven, that's speaking of walking out of movies, Steven got up and he was like, "This is fucking real to me, man." And I think he actually left. Which is fucking
That
great.
is gold.
And now he's not on the podcast, and it's not funny anymore.
Remember when we couldn't remember Gus?
Remember we what?
We couldn't remember Gus.
We were trying
to figure. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, was it you and me, or was it you and David recently? Or you, me and you, or me and David recently were trying to figure out. We're like, who was that guy we used to hang out with who had the gravelly voice and talked all weird? And
I've never had trouble remembering Gus. No, that must have been you. We talked about him when you were here in November.
Yeah, I brought it. It was David. David and I were talking, and that's what made me bring it up, because I was like, right, Gus. Gus was a weird one because he knew that we peed out behind the garage, and because he would come over and hang out. He hung out a lot, And there was one time I was watching. I was just playing a video game, and he's like, I'm gonna stop by Ethan's place and scare him. So he like tried to crawl up in through the back window, and then he ended up coming up through the staircase. And I hear something like, "What the fuck?" And I go around the corner. It's Gus coming up the stairs. Like, yeah, I tried to get in the back. It's like, Gus, that is just putrid with piss down there. Like where you tried to climb up. It's probably got my piss on it right now. It's still steaming.
The earth, and yet he claims it.
Yeah, he was a strange guy.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
We should talk about anime. This is
congratulations on a new job.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I need to find a printer and scanner so I can sign that contract. But I'll figure it out.
Do a digital one.
I don't know if that counts. He said he said I had to print it and sign it and scan it, but I don't know.
Probably.
I need to ask him to extend the start date, anyways. So maybe I'll ask him in that email. Yeah, gonna be pretty sick. I'm gonna spend so much money. Oh, all these things I've been thinking about buying, but I'm like, oh, I can't spend all this money on everything. I'm gonna buy so much fucking shit.
What you buying?
Dude, I'm I'm fucking buying oh god, the substances. The substances. I'm buying a Dutch oven probably. I'm going down to Texas and I'm buying items. I'm buying implements. I was starting to feel really weird about driving down to Texas, but because I'm like, this is like, everyone's gonna think I'm crazy. This is mad expensive. I'm renting a car, gotta pay for gas, gotta pay for hotels, gotta pay for Airbnbs. Who cares? I'm rich.
Tell them you're working remotely. Tell them it's like, yeah, I just felt like doing a road trip, and I got some friends down in Austin. I just, got a new job and I can work wherever I want.
I can't work remotely. That's not, no, it's, the thing is, when I tell my mom I'm driving specifically instead of flying, she's going to have an actual panic attack. She's going to have like agita. She's going to have heartburn the entire time I'm down there. So I feel bad, but she's going to have to drive me to the car rental place. So I have to tell her it's going to be brutal. That's the one part I feel really bad about.
Why don't you just get Steven to take you or Uber there?
Steven is not going to drive me to a fucking rental place at fucking 9:30 in the morning on a it will be a weekend. I don't know. I guess I ask him.
Or you just Uber there. Have you asked your mom yet?
No.
You're rich now. Just Uber to that bitch.
I've never used it. I mean, I don't live in a very populated place, and it's going to be early in the morning on like a, what is it? A Saturday? No, Sunday. It's going to be a Sunday.
Yeah, you can find an Uber there.
You can? Problem. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
That's too many lies though. I'm gonna have to tell her I'm on a plane. I feel like something would go wrong. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
But I see. This is the thing: is that
because I'm gonna be driving for 2 days. I'm gonna have to tell her like, yeah, I arrived in Austin today, and meanwhile I'm
here. Send me a picture, and then I send a picture. I'll send a picture of me with my thumbs up, and then you'll send it to her.
And then I put us together. Yeah.
Just feel like, why don't you say, it's like, oh yeah, I just don't feel safe flying right now because of COVID. I just don't feel like being in that close of proximity.
I can exploit that. Oh, you're the master. You're the master manipulator. Damn,
it's all I got.
That's stone cold to be like, a lot of people are saying they're boosted, but they're not.
Yeah, and it's with Omicron, and who knows what the next variant is. And Ethan says
I'll start making up variants and be like, yeah, you're right. My mom fucking hates when I drive. It's winter. I mean, I'm driving down there in winter. It's so crazy. But no.
But here's the thing: if it's winter, it's like I don't want to be in a situation where I'm delayed and stuck in an airport. My geriatric parents just made that drive.
Yeah,
you know,
at least you can drive snow in the snow, slow in the snow.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like, Mom, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to fly down and then get stuck on my way back in Charlotte and have to drive all the way up there, or you want me to just drive it in my own terms? You know.
This is all good
stuck
stuff.
In the airport.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
you've got the master of lying at your disposal at all times.
Oh, I
You just have to ask. I got it all figured out. I had half the shit primed before you even talked to me. Because I'm like, what does he have to tell people when he's driving? It's like, what if he gets pulled over? I was thinking about for you, like, what do you tell somebody if you get pulled over? You know, because I know that you aren't necessarily the best at dealing with unexpected encounters like that. So like,
well, especially with cops hate my face. They're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "What?" Because I just always look like a deer in the headlights. I always look worried and like I'm hiding something. Apparently.
Well, that's how everybody looks when they interact with the cops. You just have to make sure that you've embedded in your system that you are coming back from visiting your friends down in Texas. Yeah, because it's like true. If you're coming from Texas, it's not like you're smuggling drugs in or anything. You know, it's like because Texas, we kill people like that. So,
yeah,
we got to talk about this anime eventually.
We have finished Fate Zero. We did the first half a few months ago, and we did the second half because we can't do a full 24, 25 episode series because we're too lazy. We watched the second half of Fate Zero.
Yes.
And first you have to remember there's no rules. And as a quick recap, when we last saw our heroes, I think they were trying to stop the retarded French pedophile and his new best friend from doing something in San Francisco Bay or whatever bay they're in. So, yeah, the legendary Fate Zero, the biggest UFO table. Put UFO table really skyrocketed their deal, their market share.
The reputation of Fate Zero definitely precedes it. There's no doubt.
Yes. And because this is the second half of the show, I guess they were like, okay, we're just going to start killing people. Because if you remember in the first half, it was like, okay, this is like a war. Nobody dies the whole time. It follows a very similar trajectory as the original / future, if you go by the anime, Fate Stay Night, which is it starts off with a lot of kind of anticlimactic encounters and half fights and confrontations and speeches, and there's still a lot of those, but in this one they definitely had like an instruction like, okay, people start dying in the second half because we have to kill so many people. Oh my God, it's crazy. The butcher has to take his toll. I think the only one who died in the first half of the show was Assassin, and I wasn't even aware he was dead because it's kind of ambiguous, but it's like, okay, yeah, actually Assassin is dead because he gets killed by Ryder. Everyone else is alive as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, we just kind of start picking people off. The giant monster that Castor turns into, they have to beat him first. That takes 2 episodes. His master, whatever the fuck his name is, the serial killer guy, he gets and this will be an ongoing theme. We'll talk more about this, but some characters meet much more sudden ends and are much less sort of developed than others.
Oh yeah.
Serial killer teen guy gets shot by Kiritsugu, our protagonist, and I didn't really get his. I mean, what he was searching for was literally inside him all along. This is my first Bravo Urobuchi. I didn't really get it, but He dies.
Well,
He
here's the thing: is that his this is the welcome to the Urabuchi apologism hour. This is the point where I have to. I sent Declan a message. Was it last night or the night before?
Early this morning, late last night.
I sent him a message saying Gen Urabuchi is a genius.
The Butcher is a genius, specifically. You said
the Butcher, yes,
and I was thinking, huh? He must have finished this because I have 3 episodes left. Is there some crazy twist?
No, because
does he do it again?
And I think this is the key to the whole thing. And again, recontextualization is the name of the fucking game with Fate Zero. And in the time that we've been discussing, which is as minute as it is, sub 5 minutes probably, I have recontextualized my entire appreciation of Fate Zero from the beginning. Now, where serial killer guy, his death he's like, yeah, what he was looking for was inside of him the entire time. His death and what he realizes at the end of his run in this particular tournament, trying to, win the Grail, is simple, as his goal is simple the entire time. Like he's what he wants is wanton destruction. It's incredibly simple, and the resolution of his character is incredibly simple. It's like pottery, It's like anyway, yeah. No, it's the simplicity of that worked for me. Where it's like, yeah, this guy was just fucked up. He was just a fucked up dude who found his way into this fight, and at the end, all of the violence that he wrought was completely senseless. And
I mean, there's one other character that we could certainly say almost all of that about, but who gets way more screen time. So he ended up seeming a little redundant to me. I don't know.
We'll see.
Because so many of these, I'm getting ahead of myself, but so many of these characters are just, so many of them are like so crazy developed, like even overdeveloped, and some of them are just evil maxing. Just comic book evil maxing. But anyways,
yeah.
So he gets shot, and then we also have this encounter. We have Karia, who is the guy who took the worms instead of Sakura. He's her adoptive uncle, I believe, or she calls him Oji-san, but he's just in the family. I don't know. He likes her. She's cute. He takes the worms, but he sucks. And he confronts Tokiomi, her father, the patriarch of the, Mato, of the Mato family. And he sucks, and he's given pretty much a comical, not demise, but he gets set on fire and jumps off a building, and it's shot straight up comedically, where it's just like there's no music, and like it doesn't even show him falling. It just shows Tokiomi just standing there while you hear his scream fade away. And I was like, oh my god, this guy fucking sucks. So they're fighting. We have 3 fights going on in this first arc. So it's Saber and Ryder trying to beat this big Lovecraftian thing the casters summoned. We have Tokiomi and this loser guy. Kiritsugu is also sort of hanging out, as is Kirei. Oh yeah, Kiritsugu's killing the kid. And we also have, I think, one of the weaker parts of all this, which is Archer's crazy Fisher-Price fighter jet fighting another crazy fighter jet being controlled by Berserker. As a fighter jet, as a dogfight enthusiast, I'm afraid I cannot give this high marks. It goes on for very long. It goes on for 2 episodes. It's a little pointless. And I don't remember Archer getting this crazy fucking... I need to start putting my screenshots up. This crazy, ridiculous ship that he has. Oh, that's the monster. This thing. I mean, where did he... I guess he can just summon things.
He summoned it.
I don't like the way it looks. I mean, I I appreciate that there's something in this show that doesn't look insane, just extremely dark. But this is fucking. What even is this from? I don't even know.
It's quite tasteless. It
is gaudy.
It's like a 14-year-old's conception of what a cool spaceship would look like. You know, it's like gold.
More like a 6-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't know any. All of the sensibilities that we have as modern people are lost on this guy. He's living in fucking forever ago.
Right. Yeah. So there's a whole elaborate plan constructed, but basically they end up taking out Castor, whose end I did enjoy, even though like he didn't get that much, but I think he got an appropriate. He sort of has this. He has a very brief moment of seemingly remorse, but that he isn't able to sort of follow through on because he gets smoked by our first Excalibur here. But yes. I thought that was nice and bittersweet. And yeah, Saber does her Excalibur. I didn't even know we were getting multiple Excaliburs. I was like, shit, we're getting 2 of these? There's more than 2. Holy shit. We're awash in Excaliburs.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Also, Kirei finds Karia and has Wolverine claws that are really, really long. Let's see. Oh yeah, I knew Karia was going to be alive because it didn't show a body, so he's just going to be an even more fucked up, angry burn victim now. Oh, and also, I realized very quickly, and I don't know, I'd have to go back and check the first half of the show to make sure of this, but you know what I realized? One thing that is definitely special about this show is that there are very few anime that can truly be classified as action shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like most things, a lot of things implicitly, sort of build themselves as action by having superpowers and stuff. But really, like, how many fight scenes are you getting in like your average show? Whereas this fucking shit has like a huge fight scene with like a very multiple very noticeably like prominent pieces of animation pretty much every episode.
It's jacked to the fucking tits, dude.
It's jacked. It's a true action show, which is wild, because that's not standard practice. It's like that's just something you don't do. Like they'll tell you can't do this. You can't have this much fighting every episode. There's like 3 fights going on in some of these episodes.
Oh yeah,
it's wild. So that's great. Still looks excellent, of course.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It was something we were discussing before we went live. Was more like the thing that I care the least about is the fact that this show looks fucking awesome. It's like a given, It's like you're watching it and you're like, it. I think it's a testament to the writing that I was less interested in the fact that every fight looked fucking sick, and the bounty of fights that we are given. Yeah.
It like pretty. I don't think a single shot where I was like, oh, outsourced, which should be happening regularly. Like, that's just normally par for the course. Even with some high budget shows,
there's not a wide shot where you have just a smiley face drawn onto a body or anything.
Even UBW had some shot. Like, I remember a shot of Lancer where I was like, oh, he looks silly here because he's far away and he looks bad. There's none of that here.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, after the defeat of Castor, that arc, we get there's more Kirei development. I forgot that he had been Assassin's Master. I was confused. I had to relook all that stuff up again. Because at the end of the first half, he becomes a master. I didn't realize he was becoming a master again. He was before, but then Assassin died, so he wasn't. But then he gets it back again.
Yeah.
So he gets his command spells back. Everyone is really, really everyone really, really cares about the command spells, even though they must have like a less than 50% success rate. They never really do anything that important.
Well, there are no rules. There are no rules.
There's no rules.
So
yeah, I mean, this is
yeah.
this is this is a testament to like it's really in this show's to the show's credit that it takes the dumbest idea anyone's ever had and makes it very compelling television. And still, if you stop to think about it for 10 seconds, it makes zero sense. Absolutely none.
But the thing is that every character in the show takes what is happening with the utmost seriousness, and all of their logic is built around that, you know. So like, there are people who think that there are people who genuinely think that they're going to get to the end of this, and there's going to be an arc that will grant them whatever wish they have. And then there are people who are like, there's probably nothing to be had.
In this Holy Grail War, in a series of Holy Grail wars, none of which have ever once worked. None of them. None of them have concluded with any sort of anything happening, except everyone dying. Yeah. And there's all these rules that someone apparently just made up because none of them have followed the rules that are stated. It's ridiculous.
Everything that happens to these people is ridiculous. You know, it's like if you look at like their histories and stuff, shit, you got a shot to maybe make this shit happen. Why not? And then I think that there's something that really I was more attuned to this time around is the dichotomy between the Magi and the heroic spirits, where the heroic spirits have far less investment in what's going on in the world, because they're not going to exist after the fact, and they're fighting for things like, they're like, I'm just enjoying the fact that I'm here fighting, or I want to win the Holy Grail so that I could wish myself back to the world or whatever, where they're just kind of here by happenstance, where all of the people who are fighting in the Grail War put themselves in the situation. And I just kind of found that to be interesting, where I'm like, what do you wish for when your entire life has been built around attaining this wish, getting the power necessary to win this war, versus what do you wish for when you are just dropped into the situation? Like, what is your investment in all of this? It was just something I was kind of noticing more, and this particular, this half core, this half of the series that we watched, this core, I was much more attuned to like motivation of the characters and what they were fighting for, what their worldviews were. So yeah, we'll keep going, obviously, but there's going to be a point where I'm going to talk at great length about what it was like for me watching this, because in the previous half we discussed how we were just absolutely in love with Ryder as a character. He's the best. He's just best, most, like, you just understand, and you would want to ride into battle for him. And the reason that he's able to kind of conquer, to conquer your heart, so to speak, and like, to make you fall in love with him so much, is that his investment is so fucking low. He doesn't have any existence in this world, this modern world that exists. So anyway. I'll talk about it in a bit.
The heroes, the servants that being from previous times, they have a more mythopoetic view of the world. So they care more about things like their legacy, and because they don't like, it seems like they don't think of death the same way that we do. Like because they sort of just exist to make a mark on the world.
Right.
And I think Urobuchi kind of understands that like modern people kind of aren't able to accept sort of death in the same way because they don't kind of have that hope that they do, and so they end up lacking the ambition. Yeah.
And that was like the turning point of the show to me. I'm just gonna get into it at this point. I'm sorry. So the turning point for me was when we got like an insight into Emiya's goal. You know, where like up until this point, so there's this huge fight that's happening. The fight sort of unravels where Castor, the monster that he created, is destroyed. Castor dies, and then Saber and Lancer meet to have their final battle, right? And this is something they've been talking about. At one point, Lancer had been having the upper hand, you know, or Lancer had the upper hand. He had damaged Saber, and they meet and they're like, okay, we're gonna have this out, you know, finally, you know, and they're looking forward to this as like two stellar fighters are going to face off, and that's exciting to them because they're like, I have a chance to test my mettle against somebody who is of my skill, which I never had in my own time, you know, essentially.
Terminus of Honor, the episode is called.
And there's all this chivalry and the discussion around those things.
They're so goddamn chivalrous and honorable. It almost just is too much. It's like, all right, Jesus Christ, we get it. You fucking have honor. They're so fucking. It's almost like they're being like passive aggressive to each other with how fucking honorable they're being to each other. It's like sappy.
And that is the point where I realized like just how much I was in love with this thing. It's because we as the audience are looking forward to this. We want to see it. We like these characters. We want to we're like, it's bittersweet and that like, okay, one of these two has to lose this fight, but we want to see it out because it's exciting to us because they're two great warriors. We like them both. They're both excited about it. Gets us amped up as audience members. And then it is cut tragically short by Emiya. He intervenes with this cold, calculated style where he executes he has the master of Lancer force Lancer with his last command spell to commit suicide, and we feel cheated and betrayed as audience members, or at least I did, you know, when I was watching it, because we care about Saber, we care about Lancer, you know, and but he's completely right to do it. He's absolutely right. It's like, and that was where I'm like, I'm being played like a fucking fiddle right now, you know, where it's like, because I admire all of this chivalry and all this honor, because it's we look to it as being admirable traits, and we're like, this is stuff that we appreciate, and all of it is. Why would Emiya let this fight continue between these two people who are already dead? They have no stake in our world. They have absolutely no stake in the world, and the prolonging of this conflict is only going to prolong the suffering of these people. And however, that's only the first of many different philosophical developments that I feel happen throughout the show when you're watching it. Because it's like I started with this sort of simplistic appreciation of Ryder, where he's, you know, he's a great warlord, and we understand it's like, yeah, this is the kind of guy you would want to follow into battle, because it's like, yeah, he's got this glorious conflict that he's a part of. You feel like there's fulfillment in the war, and he sells you on the fulfillment of being a warring culture and everything. And then you're brought back to the harsh reality of like, no, the battlefield is hell, you know. And I think it's rare, at least my own experience, to watch something or consume a piece of media where I am being sucked in hook, line, and sinker, and I'm exactly in the fucking palm of his hand, you know? Because I, as an audience member, want to see all this shit happen, even though I know it's, you know, deep in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, you know, it's upsetting that these two people are going to, you know, fight and one of them will die, or the conflict will be extended. But yeah, I just appreciate the raw sort of reality drop that happens there, you know. And again, it develops further from that point. It's not like it just you see that one perspective and everything comes to a screeching halt, and it's all that sort of pragmatism all the way through the rest of the show. No, there's further recontextualization that happens. Fucking sick. It's a great episode.
Yeah, that's a really good episode. Yeah, Emiya is he keeps doing, like, a lot of people in the show keep doing things, and it's like, yeah, they're right technically. He and it's appropriate too, because both Saber and Lancer are reincarnations of people who lost.
Yes.
And so it's the most ruthless, least tolerant side will win. And they fall victim to that once again. So yeah, that's a very Urobuchiism. And this is also when they start hinting at, people start asking questions like, "Hey, Kiritsugu, what's your deal? Why you like this?" And I felt like, I know there's a Emiya backstory. I know that's coming, because people over the years, I see things. People post the picture of the two kids. They're at the beach, and people, it's just it's one of those things, you post the picture and people go, just posting it invokes some kind of trauma. So I was like, oh no, I was worried about that. But before that, it's weird. They keep hinting at, like, oh, it's time for Emiya backstory. Then we have one more episode where Kirei, this is the thing I was making fun of with the knife bit. People keep giving each other fucking daggers in this show. Tokiyome and Kirei are still in an alliance. The Mato family strikes a deal with the Iliasvels, or whatever the fuck their name is, that they'll form an alliance if Kirei fucks off, because Airi thinks he's weird. But instead of fucking off, he kills Tokiyome with a dagger that he gives him. He's like, "Here, take this dagger. I'm gonna walk away now." In the most telegraphed murder of all time.
Oh yeah.
That's why I was talking about Karya's, like, him getting fucked up being so anticlimactic. Like the unpredictable injuries and deaths get, like, no drama, but, like, this fucking murder that gets fucking forecasted for 20 minutes gets its own 360-degree rotating shot after an entire episode of us being told it's going to happen. It's so fucking funny. It's like they're having tea and it's night, and he's like, "Let me give you this dagger. Have a nice trip. Bye.
Please do not kill me. If only, it's a good thing that you're behind me, that nobody can see."
The man said goodbye to his family, for God's sakes. I was like, okay, he knows he's going to get murdered somehow. He has something up his sleeve, or he's going to get one over on. No, it's like he knows he's going to die, but also it just happens, and he's like, what? Ah. We also get to see Small Rin again when he says goodbye to her. Gilgamesh Archer now in an alliance with Kirei. Kirei is just really descending, really getting super evil, just because he likes it. They both like it. What can you say? Also, there's a motorcycle now. We have to introduce modern things.
I like the motorcycle.
It's funny. It's fun. Saber's on a motorcycle. Let's see. I love the unnatural degree to which Rin's twin tails move on their own to match her expression. That is true. I wrote that. Okay. Yes, and then yes. So Emiya's backstory. We'll get to. I need to go to the bathroom. Would you like to rant about something, or should I play a song?
I'll rant, of course.
All right. Have fun. Vamp for me. I'm also gonna get my fancy beer, so I'm gonna pee.
If I can play the song, I gotta pee. I ain't even something to drink. We're celebrating tonight.
Have some Hidamari soundtrack, everyone. Be right back. I don't know what the hell this song is. It gets loud in a bit. I don't know what happens, but see ya.
I wonder if I'm on. I wonder if I'm muted right now. I want to talk as though I'm not muted. Well, the music has ended.
I'm back.
He's back. I don't know if I was muted or not.
I didn't mute you.
Okay, yeah. So when I got back, the music was kind of finishing up. I'm reading a book about Rome right now.
These spam messages in the chat are really weird. Most of them are nonsense. This one is sister19lol.online.
literally impossible. That gets you anywhere.
Oh, I bet it fucking gets you somewhere. But it gets you to fucking come
town. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, it gets you to come town. Yeah, that's not a website. Sister19lol.
Reading a book about Rome. I'm about 300 BC right now.
Oh, that's not a good part of Rome. Oh wait, no, am I thinking of Greece? No, I think it's Rome.
300 BC. They're in the middle of a bunch of wars.
Yeah, it's when they got invaded by like Celtics, right? Oh, okay. Yeah,
they came out of
go ahead.
Yeah, they came out of the north, and they're pushing them back. Don't worry, it's fine. It's a minor nuisance in the grand scheme of things.
I'm not sure it is. I'm sorry to say. I don't know if you've noticed the people living in Rome these days, but they don't look like the statues they used to build.
Oh well, I don't. Look, as long as the hierarchy exists between the patrician and the plebes, I think we're okay. I think as long as plebeians are not allowed to be consuls, I think we're in good shape. So far, everything's all right. I can't imagine a situation in which plebeians are given similar rights to those of their patrician overlords, and the intermingling of the two classes would ever be allowed.
I'm sorry, Ethan. I went to sister19lol.online, and I'm looking at a fully nude woman with a lot of tattoos. I would say B-cup breasts, just sort of fondling herself.
Sister 19 LOL online?
I believe so.
She markets herself as a 32C, but she's really a 32B.
There's 20 girls nearby. Can you believe it?
Oh wow, she's got a nice body. Look at her.
Yeah, I bet she's real and nearby. I bet she's near to me.
She should really let that bush grow. I don't know why she has to shave that thing.
At least that much. That's a lot. It is a lot. I did not have time to get my beer because it was a very long piece. So now vamp for me.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to talk more about Rome. What am I learning, really? I'm not really... I could tell you a whole lot, but it's not of any value, which is kind of the weird thing that I've encountered in the level of history that I'm reading on, is history is strange because you have to draw your own sort of conclusions as to, like... I'm so used to consuming stories in written form that when it's just a list of things that happened with no meaning because it's the real world, I'm completely lost. I'm so used to 3-act structure. I'm so used to hero's journey. When there's no rhyme or reason behind what happens other than the will of individual people, I'm baffled. So I'm just kind of retaining the stuff. I think that I'm enjoying reading about it. It's I don't know what I really expected from reading about history. I thought that there was going to be. I don't know where the aha moment comes, or maybe the aha moment will literally never come, but I'm enjoying it.
I'm going to try to open this corked beer live on TV.
Oh, shit.
I'm twisting the thing.
Are you getting twisted?
I'm getting a twisted system. Oh. Let's see if I can get the... Oh!
Hey.
Smells pretty good.
Ooh.
Let's pour a little here. That is a dark color.
I can't believe you spoiled 300 BC in Rome for me. It's a little fucked up, not gonna lie.
Whoa! What the fuck is this?
Got some good stuff?
Well, it's so bright and acidic and sweet. How did they... Oh, it's a sour ale. Oh, this is great.
What is it called?
Duchess de Bourgogne. Duchesse de Bourgogne. Flemish sour ale.
Whoa. This has a 92% on Beer Advocate.
It's fucking crazy tasting.
Apparently it's on tap at Whole Foods. Nice, man.
Oh man, that is like, I mean, it doesn't taste like beer, but it tastes it tastes like kombucha with like some some fluoride in it.
Yeah, so it's melting your brain and evaporating your sperm.
It's calcifying my
your pineal gland.
The glands that make me think, which is good. That's what I was going for.
I have 100 bets in for the Super Bowl. Did I tell you about this?
Holy shit, that's a lot.
I won $100 gambling on the championship weekend, and I invested it all right back into more bets. So I'm going to lose all of it. So it's like sports betting is kind of semi-legal here. You can do like DraftKings, or FanDuel, and I won $100 on DraftKings on a $6 bet. So I've hedged my bets in that I've pretty much done every single lineup that could possibly net you money. I've made 100 unique lineups. This has been the thing that I've been doing while at the sauna gym because it's not something you can really do passively. You sort of have. I might have to send you a picture. It looks like schizophrenic nonsense where I've written out all of my lineups on my whiteboard.
How do you put a cork back in the bottle?
You don't. You have to drink the whole thing.
No,
you're cursed.
That's too much.
You're cursed to drink all of the beer.
I'd like to drink more tomorrow.
Well, why don't you just drink it all now? If it's so good, why don't you want it all in you?
It doesn't all fit in the glass. I want to put it back in the fridge.
I'm sure you can fit that bitch in there. I have some experiences similar to that, and it always works out.
Fit it in the glass, you mean?
Important. Lubricant's important.
I don't know if this is gonna work. How did they even get this in here?
Talking about how all of the characters are right in Fate.
Okay.
Or a lot of the characters are right in their own way.
I'll just go fridge this 1 sec.
Okay. All right. Well, I said all my fantasy lineups. I'm pretty sure I have all of them. Which means that you'll hear from me in like 2 weeks, and I'll be like, I don't understand how I missed this one incredibly obvious lineup that would have won me $150,000, and instead I walked away with 50. I was obsessive. It's ridiculous. I have 80 unique lineups across 5 different contests. I just don't understand. If I lose, it is an act of God, and it means that I should never gamble again. Because I've done everything I possibly can to set myself up for success here.
Cool. Yeah, fate. What do you know about French people?
The French?
Yeah.
Surrender monkeys.
Because I was wondering if it's like some kind of. I had a job interview with a French guy. The company was not French. I've been having trouble keeping track of which companies I talk to, because every time I talk to one, it's just a totally different person of a different race in a different country. For everyone. I was like, I swear I talked to a Chinese guy like a week ago, and I could not remember who it was for or why. But I was wondering it because I was fucking had an hour-long interview with this French guy, and I was started to wonder, like, he was talking, for the entire hour, I probably talked for a combined maybe 5 minutes, and I was genuinely starting to wonder if it's like a French thing where you're supposed to talk until the other person, like,
interjects or something.
Forcibly interrupts you, like, very aggressively, because he would just keep going forever. And when he finally stopped to ask me a question, it seemed uncomfortable.
I've interacted with 2 French people in the last 10 years. They were, I know it's too many, you know what I'm saying? But they were women, and I was on the set of a movie that they were shooting. They had no idea what they were doing. They had basically used it as an excuse to get a bunch of hot guys into a room with them. So I'll let you figure out what to make of that.
Right.
Like, they got all the hot guys.
I already knew they were whores. I was asking about their conversation stylings.
They mostly were talking to the hot guys, so I can't really.
Did they let the hot guys talk back?
No, they were mostly talking to each other, and then it would occasionally address the hot guys, who would like kind of raise their chins like expectantly, as if like maybe they're like priming something to say, and then the girls would go back to talking to each other. No, they did a lot of talking to each other.
That's kind of how the interview went. Yeah. That French guy.
Did you raise your chin?
Well, I wasn't on camera, but I was. Yes, of course. Yeah, I that was not the job I took, because that French guy did not make the position sound very fun.
How they say?
He was basically discouraging me. He was like, it can be very frustrating.
How do they say?
Think about this before you give an answer.
You are scapegoat, so to speak. Sort of. We kill you as a messenger. You are to be thrown out with the trash. It was not a problem.
Put the apple in your mouth.
Well, you're like my wife. Maybe you could.
You became Borat. It's over.
My wife.
My wife is here. Kiritsugu's backstory: he was an island boy, and he had, I was prepared to be very hurt by all this. Oh, we also missed the part where, Archibald also dies in. Oh yeah, the fucking contract. We didn't talk about. This is one of the things. they introduce this whole fucking somehow Kiritsugu gets a hold of this fucking super airtight magic contract where you have to follow the contract, and it exists for 30 seconds. And it says he can't kill Archibald. I have a new offer, $15 for Auto Course, 1985, 1986. It says that he can't kill Archibald, and then Archibald signs it, and then Maya, his assistant, kills him, and also Saber does. And it was like, it's just the most. You got to read the fine print, man. That's a bad deal, Archie.
Well, if your lady's being held at gunpoint, you're gonna hear a whole lot about it if you don't do something real fast.
You gotta think about it first. I mean, that's the most obvious loophole. It's not even smart. They didn't even do a smart thing.
You don't understand. Happy wife, happy life.
Is
their fiance?
Fiance. Okay. But she also does get her arm chopped off by. That's another way the rules work. Is that like. The symbols
your
of
command spells are attached to you.
They're like, oh, you have like 3 symbols on your arm to represent how many command spells you have, but they're literally on your arm. If that shit gets chopped off and shot with a gun, they're gone.
I like it. I like it.
Okay, but yeah, that whole contract thing just goes away because we had to show that Emiya is ruthless and will do whatever it takes. What's the mission? Whatever it takes. But when he was a kid, he lived on an island, sort of like Okinawa, but I think it's supposed to be in the Philippines. I think they say that the name is the Tagalog word for crabs, which is alimango. I don't think it's a real island, but that's what it is in the story. And I was. My fears were being reinforced. I was like, how do you make a man suffer as much as possible? You give him a cute brown sundress tomboy childhood friend GF. And I went, yes. Oh no, don't do this. Don't do this to him.
They made her extra cute too.
You can't do. She's so cute. You can't do this to him.
She's perfect, actually.
Please don't. Oh my God, no. Yes, yeah. There's only so much. The man's family's dead. Don't take away his tomboy GF. And so they're friends on the island, and his dad is doing weird, devilish experiments, which the local priest does not like. And what do you know? Another fucking foreshadowing dagger, given as a gift.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot of foreshadowing. There's talk of demons. She cuts a thing open. It looks like blood, and then she eats it. And his dad's trying to make immortal. He does make immortal plants, but he hides high up in the hills because the locals think he's weird. And then the tomboy GF drinks a vial of magic plant juice and turns into like a Santeria chicken eater lady.
Yeah, she's a zombie bumby, I believe is the term.
Well, and then we realize it's actual zombos. It's zombie time. That's what happened. Everyone on the island becomes a zombie, and then they all.
Danny Phantom 14 when his parents built a very strange machine. You remember Danny Phantom?
Of course, I remember Danny Phantom. I remember the goth girl. I remember
Black Friend.
I remember Black Friend. I remember Ember. You will remember. I remember.
There's the
dad.
Episode. The way that I always remember who won the first Super Bowl was because of that.
Wasn't it the Packers?
It was the Packers. They beat the Chiefs. His sister talks about it because they have to go visit a vampire man. And he's a huge fan of the Pack, so
it's a pretty good bit.
So his sister doesn't want to go visit Vampire Man because she's like a vapid kind of girl, like a Valley Girl sort of situation, and They go visit, and she's like, "Well, he has a home movie theater, but the only thing that he has is Packers history movies."
That must be a joke about someone who worked on the show. There must be a joke about Hillenburg.
There's got to be a Packers fan. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there's got to be a Packers fan involved. Oh, shit. He's a phantom.
I forgot this show tried to be cool.
Was just 14 when his parents built a very strange machine. Was designed to view a world unseen. When it didn't quite
oh my god.
Just quit. Then Danny took a look inside of it. There was a great big flash of things.
Into a big old shit.
Got all rearranged.
Doing this with the Fairly Odd Parents.
He was much more unique than the other guy, and it was then that he knew what he had.
This is a minute long.
I noticed that last time I watched it.
I know, it's like someone had to fight for a. Oh no, it's only 45 seconds. It's only 45. Okay, still, someone had to fight for a longer than 30-second intro. Boy, yeah.
I was thinking about this recently. So obviously, SpongeBob holds up really well. SpongeBob is
3 seasons, yeah.
Yeah, the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob, excellent. Still really funny.
Yeah.
Do you feel like? I wonder if anything from Fairly Odd Parents holds up. I feel like that's probably obnoxious as fuck.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of the dad's lines are probably funny.
Yeah, of course.
I like the dad, and I bet a lot of
same thing with Jimmy Neutron.
Jimmy Neutron, yeah. Yeah, there's probably some jokes like it's Cosmo talking shit on women is probably funny some of the time. Yeah, there's some stuff in all those shows, but they're not. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Did you feel some sort of? Did you feel a little bit of Black Lagoon peeking through on this Fate Zero? Did you feel, because especially with the next episode, to me reminded me a whole bunch of Black Lagoon.
Just because there's gunplay? No, not really.
Well, it is Black Lagoon. The light novel is Gen Urobuchi, and it's like specifically like the underworld sort of like.
Wait, what is Gen Urobuchi?
Gen Urobuchi wrote the light novel for Black Lagoon.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't know that.
And I got like slight sort of like vibes of that with the underworld sort of thing. You know, a guy who it shouldn't really be in this environment is brought in. Extreme violence, lots of explosives and big guns, and you know, like riding out on a jet boat to then launch a Joker missile at a fucking passenger jet is very Black Lagoon to me. Like where it's like you just have to set. It's like I've already got it set up. I've already got this plan in place to take care of all this shit that's going on this plane. Like that's all Black Lagoon to me. I don't know.
Sure. Well, you know, Black Lagoon is originally a manga.
Yes, but the Butcher, like,
it's in his wheelhouse for sure.
Yes, right. It just reminded me somewhat of that, and I would understand why you would tap him to write Black Lagoon. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of because these 2 episodes in particular are like semi-tropical. One of them is a tropical environment. You know, then he's being brought under the wing of like an assassin lady. I mean, I know she's a magi, but you know, I don't know. I was really digging the vibe of these. It's kind of not necessarily. It's a little incongruous with everything else going on, but I fucking dug it.
It was, I mean, with how infamous these episodes are, it was less traumatic than I was expecting.
Yeah.
But yeah, his village gets burned down, and he meets a super cool lady assassin, and then she explains zombies or whatever they're called to him, and so there's sort of there's the Catholic Church, there's like the mages, they have like basically, you know, they're like Illuminati, and they are kind of at odds, and she's just sort of a hired, she's a merc, And he Emiya kills his dad. This is what I mean. Oh, new sale on myfigurecollection.net. Take a look at that later. This is what I mean when I say characters either get, it's either 0 or 100. It's pedal to the metal or nothing, because Emiya goes to his dad and is like, hey, everybody's dead, the whole island turned to zombies and they're all on fire, my girlfriend's dead and she ate chickens and turned and dead and is dead, and there's a lady assassin and everybody's dead and we have to go. And his dad is like, oh, that's bad, but my research must continue. And then he stabs him with the dagger that we saw earlier. It's like, okay, so that he was a bad guy because we didn't have enough time for him. He was bad.
Dad was a means to an end. He needed to die so that we could have Assassin Lady as the surrogate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This whole thing, you should also take into account. It's not literally 1-to-1, but you're to understand that this is also Maya's backstory, where she do the exact same thing but flip it and reverse it, and that will be Maya's backstory, where it's
how,
because Maya was taken in by literally just said his name, Mitsurugi. What's his name? Not Mitsurugi. Kiritsugu. Thank you.
Emiya Kiritsugu.
He took in Maya, who was an orphan. Yeah. Took her in, taught her to be a magi, honed her skills. It's the exact same story of him being taken in by Assassin Lady, but inverted. So it's the same shit.
Inverted. It's the same. Oh, just inverted gender wise.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're supposed to understand that it's the same. They had the same experience that led him to do the same thing with her. So she will not be getting any further development. Do not worry. We will not waste any time on that.
She gets a scene. She gets a whole scene. Remember when they made out? That was weird.
I liked it.
Yes. So yeah, 2 whole episodes of Kiritsugu backstory. The second one, he's being raised by Assassin Lady. And, this is when we're being taught how he's, because she's, she's sort of she's playing both sides. She's profiting off of this conflict. And there's a shot of him looking at a chessboard, and there's a black and white piece, and he knocks both of them over. Bravo, Urobuchi. I know he didn't do it. He didn't compose that shot, but I saw that. I was like, oh, that's a doozy. That one was like, okay,
as expected.
Yep, he's assembling Beretta 92s, and he's playing chess. He's drinking coffee. Yeah, he's killing people. Then they get info on a tricky target. And as they're doing, this is one of those. As they're doing their sort of intel, he hands her a photograph of an airplane, and she takes it and looks because he's gonna be getting on a plane. So he just here's a picture of a jetliner. Like, oh, thanks, Emiya, you fucking dope. Thanks for this picture. Thanks for this fucking Polaroid of an aeroplane. We're magic assassins.
The characters needed some business to do during the scene. They can't just stand there and talk. They have to do something.
They have to be tactical.
That's the thing that they did, is they handed an image.
Sure is. Yep.
Look, sometimes it's tough. That's why characters be smoking cigarettes. That's why characters be drinking coffee. That's why characters be handing each other Polaroids of fucking planes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, they keep bringing up this airplane, and I realize, oh, I know what happens here. We learn that pretty much Kiritsugu is responsible for TWA Flight 800. The year is off, but it's the closest we have. He blows up the plane she's on because she can't take care of all the zombies. Too many bees. So okay. he is sad because of this.
I'm with him. I'm sad too.
Yes. And so, back in the present, Irie is getting very weak, Irisville, because she's just a vessel for whatever. So she gives back the MacGuffin, the healing thing, to him, and Kiritsugu realizes Tokiomi's dead. Ryder and what's his nuts talk for a bit. Karia is still alive. There's more worms. Worm jumps into him. Someone steals Irie, seemingly Ryder. We learn later this is a ruse.
You've been duped.
Maya dies. This is her scene. She's like, thanks. I'm dead now. Because she got punched real hard or something. She doesn't even, whatever happens to her, it doesn't even happen on screen, but she dies. But Emiya is sad about it. He's not a monster.
No. Why would you think that? Why would you think that he's a monster?
So many of these last episodes are just fighting. Really, we're just wrapping stuff up already at this point. We're only on episode 21, but Saber chases Ryder and tries to fight him, but then realizes they don't have Irie. She transforms her bike. Yeah, it becomes a cool
she makes him a special
cyber bike.
Yeah.
Still love her in that suit. Who actually took Irie was Berserker and Kirei and Archer. They teamed up, and we get another Excalibur on this mountain road here. Against Ryder. Karia, again being a moron, gets once again tricked. And I don't even remember how he gets tricked. He gets tricked so many times. He's a total dupe.
He's a real sap.
Yeah, he gets tricked into. He thinks he's going to be the one who gets to kill Tokiomi because he hates him for stealing, or for giving away Sakura, because he only needs one daughter for magic reasons.
Dude, this is something that I was thinking about the entire time. All that shit's so fucked up. Why come? Why come they be doing that? Like, you can't even give him so they just gave her to the most evil magic family. Like, you couldn't. There's nobody else you could trust. I don't know.
Yeah, his explanation was weird. He has two very magical daughters, so he gives one to his rival. I don't remember. He explained it. His explanation wasn't great. Yeah, it's like
Tosaka comes across like a real fucking asshole this whole show.
But yeah, they try to humanize him a little bit. I mean, he does seem to genuinely care about the family members he hasn't given away.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
He cares about the line. He cares about the family line. But he has this whole fucking explanation for like why he gave away his daughter, and he's not like evil maxing like fucking Kirei is, but he's still too evil to really take seriously as a character. So when they try to make him like sympathetic in any way, it doesn't really work. I don't know what the point.
And he doesn't even make it to the end game. He doesn't even no,
not even close.
He fucking throws these dice and he's like, I'm out.
Stabbed in the dumbest way possible. Yeah, he's a fucking moron. I'm in a war. I'm gonna give someone a knife.
And to a degree,
guy who's been hanging out with Gilgamesh the whole time, I'm gonna give him a knife.
I think I genuinely like that because it's like he's been primed his entire life for this. His entire life is built around this. And he's so arrogant that he never once even considered that he's like anybody would even try to fucking step to him. Because he's like, well, yeah, I'm in one of the most powerful magi lines, so it would be a fool's errand to contest me at all. And he gets owned like a fucking chump. And
he's not. He doesn't. It's not like he's totally confident the whole time. Like when who killed the priest? Archibald. Archibald kills the head priest, making Kirei the head priest, and he gets all these command spells. Tokiomi does not seem to see that coming, and he's freaked out at that. So he's not like he's always feels like he's in control. It's just like ultimately he was just another dumb guy who died. Some of these characters are just dumb guys who die.
And that's fine.
We get a lot of time with them, and then it turns out they're dumb and they die.
Well, I'm fine with that because it's like the only reason that he's even in this fight is because of his blood. You know, it's not like it's like he's got his bloodline. He's a powerful mage, and we've learned that even some fucking kid who's in the academy still can summon a heroic spirit. So like, he was just lucky enough to even be there. You know what I'm saying? But he thinks of himself pretty highly, but he doesn't really. He's not cunning. He's just there because of his family. And I think that has value, you know, where it's like, who are the people who are in the end game, at least in the last few episodes? It's like, okay, so the kid from the academy, Emiya, who's like working entirely outside the system and doing his own shit, you know? And then you got somebody from the church who's doing, I don't know. I think it kind of works. I'm fine with him being a dumbass.
Yeah, I guess he was clever in the beginning though. He did that assassin fake out. Like he was the schemer to begin with, but then ultimately, yeah, you know, Kirei just kind of
blew his wad, dude.
Gets the best of him. Yeah, he had one plan. He had a good idea once that didn't actually work because he saw through it. Yeah. Oh yes. So the way Karia gets tricked once again, this time by Kirei, is that Kirei makes him believe that he will be the one to kill Tokiomi, and he goes to the church to do this, and Tokiomi is already dead there. It's his body, and he's mad. And then Tokiomi's wife, Sakura and Rin's mom, shows up to add further humiliation and insults by basically framing him for killing her husband. So he is just complete. This is really, I think that he has several moments where he really just snaps, like Emiya, you know, Kiritsugu snaps, but in ways where he just becomes, you know, more broken and damaged. Whereas every time Karia snaps, there's a sort of meaninglessness to it that just makes him go fucking crazy, and I can't blame him. This all started with him trying to save his adopted little sister from getting raped by worms. Yeah. Now he's just basically being mocked and he has no control over anything. So now he's been framed for murder, and this woman's screaming at him, so he just chokes her and kills her. Seemingly.
Well, he doesn't have the will to fucking win. You know, it's like he's going through all this horrible shit, and
he doesn't have the powers, and he doesn't have the smarts, and he
shouldn't
his body's
be here.
Fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, and
he was set up to fail by his master, by the head of the family, because the old guy in the Mato family also, like Kirei and Archer, Archer, Gilgamesh, even though they're not related to each other, alliance-wise or genetically, just all happen to be crazy, psychotic sadists. It's like 30% of the show. I get that these wars are kind of grooming these aristocratic families to be this way, but there's so many people who are just out of their fucking minds.
It's part of the theme, I think, is like all and like he doesn't have the will, he doesn't have the power, he doesn't have the smarts, he shouldn't be there, and ultimately what he ends up getting is utterly fucking destroyed and just ruined, you know. And I don't know. I had a thought, but it's gone now. It's okay.
Yeah, he's really just a pawn, and he spends his whole time struggling, and then this choking episode, it turns out, is just for Kirei's amusement, again, because he's a crazy.
He throws it all away.
Sadist
he throws it all away. You know, it's like
enjoying it. He's just having a good
time.
All
of his sacrifice was fucking for nothing, because you know, like fucking.
Karia?
I gotta have the names. Yes.
Okay.
All of his sacrifices up until that point were for nothing.
Yeah.
Because he in the last moment throws all of that away, and it means it's meaningless. Which, like, effort in and of itself doesn't necessarily have value. I don't know. I thought
you can get to a point where things are so bad that you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna make everything way worse on purpose just so that I
people
have.
Do that shit,
dude. now that I've gotten this job, there's stories I don't know.
Oh
Maybe
yeah, I hear stories about my dad when he was starting his business fucking 40 years ago, where it's like, yeah, he just got to a point where he just threw a hammer as far as he possibly could. He's so upset that he was like they were trying to build the buildings that they were going to start the business in, and it was something wasn't going right. He had measured incorrectly or something, and he just hucked a hammer as far as he possibly could. And it's like, motherfucker, have I ever been there? You know, where like,
oh man,
that brief release of like, God, that must have felt so good to just fucking huck that shit. And then also where you're like, I know I have to go pick this up and look like a fucking asshole, you know.
It it does help, yeah.
Destroying things. I think rage rooms are a dumb idea. Rage rooms are a dumb idea, but destroying your
gross.
Destroying your computer mouse is awesome. Where it's like, oh man, yeah.
It's like you're taunting me. It's like you want me to tell this story.
Well, you feel it in that moment where you're like, the only thing that will satisfy me right now is destruction of some kind. Where it's like, this mouse is on its way out already. I have to just shatter this thing, you know. I'll play. You know, it's like this controller must be destroyed. You know, it's the only thing that can possibly release it because it's a cathartic release. And then next time you're in that situation, you're able to react to it differently. Tell me the story.
No, I can't. But
okay.
Yes, it feels good.
You'll tell me off mic or
maybe I'll drink more of this fucking.
Okay, well, I have to make a pizza at some point tonight. Anyway, I got this dough over here. So after I'm recording, I'll make a pizza and you can work yourself up.
Okay, I'll work myself up. You got just dough? You're making from scratch?
Yeah, always.
Did you buy the dough? Or did you make the dough too?
I made the dough.
Wow, nice.
I set it up to rise like maybe 30 minutes before we started recording. Should be perfect after we're done.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so yes, that's our. So yes, Lady gets choked. Kirei is enjoying it. Next episode, we get 2 women choked to death in as many episodes, which has to be a record. And you know I'm not complaining, but did no one point out that, like, can we have her die another way? Because we've already had a lady choked. It was last episode.
Yes.
But Kirei chokes Airi, Iliasvel, because she's explaining Emiya's wish for the Grail, which is world peace. And again, in the grain of characters basically being right, Kirei is like, that doesn't make any sense. That would eliminate humanity entirely, because you can't have the good without the bad. And so then he chokes her to death.
Boy, does he ever.
It's like you know, they're having this argument, and it's like, you could tell it's the type of argument where the angrier the guy gets, he's just going to start beating on the woman. But it's like, it doesn't have to happen, because plenty of characters in this show talk without beating on each other. But he just has to choke her. So yeah. And then Airi ends up in the Grail doing Grail stuff. She sees weird other versions of herself, because she is just a vessel or whatever, magic. This is the point where every time Ryder has a scene, I am holding on for dear life.
Because we're near the end here. Inevitably, he can't win. So
he obviously can't win. But oh my God, when Waver uses up all his command spells, but he takes them with him on his horse anyways. Dude, oh my god, it's too much. Holy shit.
He's a special kind of guy.
It's ridiculous. So yeah, episode. This is all really just fights from here on out. Episode 23 is Ryder and Waver versus Archer, and Saba versus Berserker. Berserker has gotten hold of like a Barrett 50 cal somehow. He turns out to be Saba's compatriot, Sir Lancelot, who I don't know the lore. He betrayed him or something. I don't know. He's mad. Which is this is leading up to sort of the follow through on Saber's character and Ryder's criticism of her, which is that she doesn't understand people and doesn't have enough like conviction or some way. It's kind of vague. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But she doesn't have the ability to bespell her own men like Ryder does.
Her morals are too pure. She's too ethical and
she's too nice.
Well, she's just too ethical. She's too and that's what Lancelot says to her is like you're
she forgave him too easily.
He's like people have to suffer to a certain degree. There has to be an expectation of like they want recompense. They want to be without that they don't feel like they've truly been forgiven. There needs to be some sort of toll exacted.
Yeah, and to provide, being the one who disciplines, is gives them a source of strength and grounds them, and she wasn't able to do that, so that's her conflict. So they're fighting.
Ryder until the very end is like, I don't want to say uncompromising, but steadfast in everything that he believes, and it's like this is the way that people need to act, and you need to understand this.
Never once falters, dude. Never flinches.
And like when he's presented with alternative perspectives, he's able to observe them and be like, you got to a different conclusion than I did, but I know that my path is the right way, and that's not something that Saber is able to provide to the people that followed her, because she was too easily too ready to forgive and too hard. It's too difficult for her to dispense in punishment and expectation. Like the expectation wasn't there, where it's like this sort of behavior was fine, which means that going forward, expectations along that will continue to be forgiven. He's just not a hard ass enough, not a good enough leader. Doesn't expect better, Fucking A.
Yeah. Yes, and so yes, my biggest my sad face with the most underscores in my notes is Ryder charges into Archer. Inevitably does not make it. He knows it. So you knew it was happening.
Of course.
And then episode 24, it's the famous Batman fight. It's the fight between Kirei and Kiritsugu.
In the back cave.
In the background stolen from The Dark Knight. And also the Grail shows up. I guess it's here.
Real quick. I'm so sorry, but I must say.
It is fine. It's a podcast. You may speak.
The mutual appreciation between Ryder and Archer is like ecstasy.
Small amount of humanity from Archer. Yeah, Archer also has his honor. Yeah.
It took forever. It took fucking 25 episodes or 24 episodes or whatever, maybe 23, to get to the point where we're seeing that out of him, where he's met somebody who he considers to be worthy of his acknowledgement.
Yeah, it really actually, it speaks more to Rioter, doesn't it? That like Waver's loyalty to him is even understood by this guy who just wants to see suffering and is covered in gold.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it.
Yep. We're validated as audience members for liking him because even the bad guy likes him too.
Yes, even this guy gets it. Grail shows up. I guess Saba somehow gets Lancelot, Berserker. She just gets him. I don't know. She stabs him. In the Batman fight room, the Grail starts. This is, again, I mean, this is obvious. We've talked about this ad nauseum. But, this is clearly not the Holy Grail. It's so obviously
evil. So evil.
It starts overflowing with blood. With like blood that melts through floors. So, the two guys, they have this long fight. And then the blood bursts through the ceiling. And we get a whole Kiritsugu introspection sequence with more Batman plagiarism involving two boats, and you can only save one of the boats. Yeah. Incredible.
He's could have done at least it again.
Made it a different vessel or a bochi. Yes, Kiritsugu is sort of made to confront his whole ideology, and I think sort of the point is that the Grail gives you what you truly want instead of what you consciously want. So because what he truly wants, because he's human, is like his family and his loved ones back, but he has this this calculated idea he's working towards, then they're irreconcilable, and it can't give him, he refuses to take what he wants, but it won't give him what he asks for, so he ends up deciding to destroy it, is what I took from that whole Evangelion introspection sequence. I don't know.
I think you've done it, my friend. I think you got it.
Okay. I'm glad I was on the money there. Also,
yeah, I agree. I concur.
Ilya always dies, and Irie always gets choked. That's the representation of him refusing them. Is he gets put in a fictional room with them, and he shoots them. Oh, actually, he chokes Irie because she always has to get choked. Remember that scene where Ilya Svel is talking to Maya, and she's like, "I hope Ilya one day can see." She says she hopes she can see something, and I was like, "Oh, right, her eyes get cut out, and she dies horribly." It's a bummer. And then her heart gets torn out. Yeah.
The Butcher.
Well, that one's not The Butcher. That was 2002.
Yeah. Well, it's the taunting you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, he rubs it in for sure. So, Emiya decides, fuck this Grail. And he orders with all three of his... This is smart, actually, because the command spells are not really that absolute. He uses all of his command spells, telling Saber to destroy the Grail. And then we reach the final episode, episode 25. And see, this is one of many major points where I'm like, the fact that people say, no, you got to watch this one first. The fact there's even an argument. It's like,
dude,
if you saw this shit happen, like this entire city's destroyed, and it's just presented in such a like, obviously like, this part happens way. There's no music, like
there is no argument. There is no argument.
It's like a montage, like there's if you just saw this, you'd be like, what the fuck was that? That's what you gave this horrible atrocity, is you just sort of glazed
matter
over
of factly lay it out. Yeah.
What the fuck is the? Yeah, that would be crazy watching this without knowing about Fate. This is nuts.
It is very fortunate that I've never encountered that opinion myself. You told me that this is a thing that happens, but I have never encountered that, and it's a ridiculous assertion that you would ever want to watch Zero before you watch UBW.
Yeah,
absurd.
It's weird. It's yeah, you know, I get that, you know, aspects of the backstory of Fate Stay Night become more meaningful, but I can remember those, and so watching this, it still allows that to happen without me just being fucking confused at how little fanfare they're giving this whole city destruction.
It's the recontextualization thing, where every single time somebody was to talk about their own worldview and what their motivations were, it completely and this is something that I was really grappling with while watching it. Is like, it's never just that somebody does something and that changes how you view the character. People say things and that changes how you feel about other characters, or at least that was my own experience. You know, where it's like, you just kept hearing people put out their best argument as to like why they're right, you know, and every single time you're like, damn, you're right as hell, you know, and I really like that about it. And I like that it's not just like somebody does something horrible and there's an understanding that like you're supposed to feel differently about them now. I feel like Urobuchi really has a good feel for how to make something that's self-referential without being like textually self-referential. You know, it's like thematically self-referential, where it's continuing to build upon this idea, you know, and like I feel like Fate Zero is a show that has something to fucking say, you know, and that's rare. Yeah, I feel like it has something to say about conflict, about, you know, the nature of conflict, how we should engage with it, whether or not it should be glorified, whether or not it's inevitable, you know, and that we should, and the glorification of it is the only sane thing to do, where it's like, well, if we have to deal with conflict, then we should start to build a way to cope with it. And that method of coping is glorification through Rider, you know, where it's like, I don't know. I watching this thing, I felt like I was being pulled along a fucking enjoyable ride, where it was constantly making me question like why I was enjoying things, you know, and I liked it. It's fucking awesome. Fate Zero fucking rocks, dude.
Yeah. That being said, you know, the thing I always heard about this show is that like you watch it and it just totally changes how you view the events and characters of Fate Stay Night, and I'm not sure it did that at all. Like I knew that Kiritsugu was gonna have a tragic backstory, and he did. It was none of it was super surprising. You know, I guess Saber gets a lot of, you know, pre-development, but she kind of ends up in the same place she started, but she just sort of realizes what her issue is. I need to like read about what I need to remember what the fuck happens.
Well, it made me want to watch UBW again for one, where I'm like, I wish I had seen UBW 5 times, you know, before I watched this.
Just watch that 90-minute movie 5 times.
And then also, like, I don't know. I feel like this is saying different things than UBW is. I don't know what UBW is saying. UBW is saying, "Look at me. I'm just like the most gorgeous, fucking, you know, beautiful animation that we can do." With Fate Zero, I felt like all of the action was secondary to me. I really wanted to hear what the characters were saying, and that's a fun thing to have in a battle show, you know.
Yeah, the writing is good. Everyone talks very, very theatrically, but not not in an insufferable way, which is a large feat. It's but yeah, for some reason I felt like I was always led to believe that there would be something in this that would be some kind of huge twist where I was like, oh, all of this means something different now, and nothing took me by super by surprise.
Oh.
So that's fine. It got a little overhyped. It's fucking real good.
Well, for me, it was like I didn't have any expectations going in. Like I don't have those preconceived notions of like what it's going to do and how I'm going to feel about it. And as going as somebody who had just seen UBW a couple of years ago and thought that was awesome and wanted more Fate stuff, I'm like, this is a really interesting perspective on Fate. On Fate as a concept, and I am so surprised that it's never even been talked about. I'm not saying this should happen, but why have we never heard about a Fate live action movie adaptation in the West? It's so easy to translate. It's like it's like Battle Royale meets whatever. It's like it's so.
It'd be tough though, because there's too much lore. There's too much explaining things. Like to us, it seems like a insanely fast-paced action show, but like just explaining all this shit to a Western audience would be like that's a Herculean task. And also like I don't know. Depends on which one you'd be adapting. Yeah, I don't know. Unlimited Blade works.
Rewrite it a little bit but like the concept of like
it's too long to like. You'd have to make like 3 movies out of it, and it's hard to hook people with the first movie because nothing would happen, and it would just be people explaining things and not fighting, but almost fighting. So like, no one would come back. It'd be tough. Maybe
just look at the raw concept.
HBO series.
Look at just the raw concept of you have your main character who is wrapped up in this holy grail war where they have a heroic spirit that fights alongside them against other magi and heroic spirits brought back from the past. You get a bunch of quipping. You get quipping because the heroic spirits don't know anything about the modern world. People love that.
Don't give them any ideas. No.
I just sold them.
Don't bring this evil into the world.
No, I just said I got them roped in with the quipping thing. It's like, oh, there are quips in this? Oh, it's pre-built. Well, what we do is we just go... You've seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, right? Of course I have. Well, we can recycle a bunch of gags from that.
Quip.
Well, no, it's not quipping. It's like that's a comedy film about people out of time.
Oh,
it's a fish out of water comedy sort of thing, and we'll just steal that
action Bill and Ted.
Yeah, it's like it's like an Avengers movie, but with all of the.
You're gonna trick a bunch of executives into like giving you $250 million for a movie.
Isn't that how all of it works?
Not in a single pitch meeting, I don't think. I guess you know more about movies than I do.
No, I don't know anything about pitch meetings.
Oh, okay.
I'm just finishing up my first movie now, so
I'm
ways out.
The first one you've ever watched. I'm almost at the end.
This is giving me real Boss Baby vibes.
Yeah.
This is...
just to finish up stuff I forgot to talk about. Kari gets wrapped up very easily. He just falls into a pit of worms.
He's dead, but he gets a happy vision where he gets to fantasize about what it would be like to.
Great, yeah, happy for him. Kirei will continue evil maxing. I don't even remember what happens to Kirei in Fate Stay Night. Because I was just like, who's this guy? And I forget what happened to him. He probably dies. Rin Mom is alive. She's in a wheelchair. She's crazy.
She's doing great.
She's loving it. She's happy. Another dagger. Great.
Dagger.
Yeah,
It's the same dagger.
Reps.
It's the same dagger.
Well, okay, we see another one again, sure, but it's still someone gets handed a fucking dagger. That probably gets used in UBW somewhere. She probably kills him with it. I don't know. Yeah, just everyone gets wrapped up very cleanly in the last episode. Waver decides to study abroad. He's going to become Lord El Malloy, and he stars in that spinoff. I read a little bit of the Fate wiki. So this is the fourth Holy Grail War. UBW, or Fate Stay Night's the fifth Holy Grail War. There's a greater and lesser Grail after it gets split in half, and apparently Waver ends up helping take out the greater Grail. So that ends the Fuyuki Holy Grail Wars. So there is actually an ending at some point. I don't know if that's been animated. I don't know where that happens or takes place. But Waver does go on to do cool shit, which is nice. It almost makes me curious about that spin-off, the case files of Lord El Malloy. That's him.
Mahominoy? What is it?
That's him, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just. We've only seen two things, and yes. Goddamn, it's not even close. It's 52 episodes. I feel like I barely even dipped my toe in the Fate shit. I don't know if any of it's worth consuming.
Fate Grand Order is a big old rabbit hole. I've heard that Fate. I would like to watch the Shaft OVA, Fate Encore, which is just about Nero, but he is in Saber. It's Saber, but she's more haughty because she's Nero. So good. She's just kind of hanging out. That sounds great. And there's also Fate Apocrypha, which stars the actual who's the Joan of Arc. She's in there. Apocrypha. Yeah. Oh, yeah, 25 episodes, 2017. Whew.
See, goddamn, you can make so many spin-offs of this bitch. I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying that this would go over so well in the West. It's like, did you see the Disney Plus Fate spin-off? Where it's like, did you see the 6-episode Disney Plus thing? Well, no, I just got done watching the movie. And it's like, it's got a pre-built universe. You can do it as many times as you want.
We should both watch all of Fate, Kaleid, Liner, Prisma, Ilya.
Is that the one that they're chibi?
No, that's the one that's the spin-off starring Ilya and all of her friends, and they all make out.
Does every episode end with her getting choked to death?
I think so, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. There's also a dark-skinned version of Ilya. Her name is Chloe.
Oh. Sounds pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not? I have other stuff. I have a list of things that I'm just going to rattle off the names as soon as we're done recording, because I'm not convinced that these are different shows.
Oh my god, a non-spam comment. Apocrypha is super disappointing. Okay. Yeah.
I'm sure anything is disappointing.
I've heard back and forth, but I believe it.
Yeah, I would bet that anything is disappointing after these. So, just to real quick recap my thoughts. Fate Zero is fucking awesome. It's so good. I loved it so much. I literally could not shut up of talking about it. This is the thing where I was going to talk about being a hypocrite. Where the last
Why
podcast,
are you a hypocrite?
The podcast that we last recorded, or the one before that, I was talking about how I was at a pizza place and I heard a dude rambling to his friend or a boyfriend or whatever, about this anime he couldn't give a fuck about. I did that to my business partner.
Yes. I was searching for a WebM for you. Oh yeah, here we go. Finish your story.
Yeah, so I did the exact same thing that I was making fun of this other guy for. Where I spent during lunch today, we were out getting lunch while we were working, and I was like rambling for about 15 minutes straight about how much I liked Fate Zero, and
what?
I did the exact same thing that I had seen the other day and made fun of on the podcast.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what makes me a hypocrite.
I'm gonna send you. This is an official. This is a real spin-off of Fate, of the Fate franchise, starring Ilya. He's watching it.
Oh my god, look at that butt. You got that thing up there. Look at that rump.
He's seeing it.
Hell yeah. Are you ready to buy a place in Japan once I win $1 million?
Once the Rams win by exactly 41 points.
No, it's not that kind of betting, dude.
I don't know.
Do you understand? I've worked the system. It's fine. I've had good bets.
You should just do insider. You should do Bad Lieutenant, and you should find an NFL player, and you should threaten him with a gun to be bad at football.
I should kill Joe Burrow. It's like I've got some insider info that might be valuable. Do tell. Well, Joe Burrow is going to die tomorrow. I'll have all of the bets. Get yourself.
He's gonna suffer fatal gun poisoning, if you know what I mean.
This is for you. This is, you know how, like, I'm gonna be your savior. What's gonna happen is you're gonna set up a darknet prop bet where you're gonna be. It's like, hey, I would just like to set a bet that Joe Burrow is gonna die before he gets to play the Super Bowl.
That's an assassination market.
Well, the odds are pretty crazy on that, but okay.
that's 800 to 1.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we'll take that, and I'll set you up, and it's like once the bet's in, I'll just go do it.
Damn, you really found out how to game the system there.
This is the power of math, people. This is what it's like when you know how to use the internet. Get ready, get set. We're riding on the internet. I'm driving to Joe Burrow's fucking hotel.
I'm rotating shapes in my head, and those shapes are guns pointed at NFL players.
Real quick, have we wrapped up what we think about Fate Zero?
Yes, you keep saying that it's really fucking good. I think it's good.
I'm looking at a list of titles here, and I'm pretty convinced that these are all the same show. I keep flipping between them. Here, wait until all three of them are up.
All right.
I think these are all the same thing. I do not know that they are.
Yeah.
Here's the third one, and the third one you'd be like, well, that's a different color on the poster, but once you start looking at it, you're like, these are all the same.
All right. Well, one of them doesn't have a title. What the hell? Oh, Madlax. Yeah. So we got Noir, Madlax, and okay, I think I might have heard of El Cazador de la Bruja, or what's the show with the two ladies, Machiko and fuck. Damn it. Oh.
So yeah, these are all the same show.
Wait, it's this one. Michiko and Hachin. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the genre is called Girls with Guns, and I searched on Wikipedia and found that, and then looked at the B Train. The studio has a girls.
Kanan is definitely in this.
Yeah, this is under B Train's Girls with Guns trilogy. This is El Cazador was, and it's just a whole genre.
Let me get a pic of Kanan here. These characters even look like fake characters. It might be. Might share some might share some lineage. You know Kanan?
Noir is. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm familiar with the name and some of it. I don't know. These are all from the same studio.
Jormungand to an extent, a little bit newer, probably better. Yeah, there's tons of shit like that.
Yeah, I just looking at them like these gotta all be pretty much the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to say about this.
Black Lagoon's good. That's one
Black Lagoon's
gun. Well, actually, no, there are multiple girls in that. Yes. Yeah.
Anyway,
okay, we drunkenly screamed about Fate. So we're now free. We finished it. It's over.
Your opinion has been validated. You're welcome.
Yes, it is good. Yeah. So
I'm gonna go make a pizza.
You're gonna put it in a pan or a tray or what's you have a pizza stone?
No, what I've been doing recently is I've been putting it into I haven't been making like a deep dish pan pizza or anything, but I've been making New York style pizzas in cast iron pan, and that's been working out really well for me.
Oh, okay.
I just got that shit dialed in. I'm in the zone.
Those are good. Making a pizza in cast iron's fucking good. Yeah.
It's I've been having a tremendous amount of success.
Awesome. I haven't been doing much interesting food wise. Yeah, I have no stories. Okay. Well, I guess that means we're out of content.
We love you.
We all love you. I don't have any music to take us out on. Is there something we mentioned? Let's look at more. What is there more? More Godzilla dubstep.
I think it was the first thing I got was that one. So let's see. Godzilla Beat was Eminem featuring Juice WRLD Godzilla instrumental. We don't want that.
That's not what we want.
DJ Snowflake Godzilla Beat. No, it's got to be the.
That doesn't sound great.
Oh, here you go.
What? Oh.
Godzilla sample beat.
I'm on that Godzilla type beat. Yeah, hit that shit. What up?
It's all the exact same thing.
Yeah, it just starts out the same way. Is this the same song?
It might be the same song.
Is it? Is it though?
It's probably the same song.
God damn it, you fucking idiot.
Look, we're firing from the hip here.
Send us emails at podcast@gangstalking.com. I'm on Twitter at TimeCubeIsekai.
I don't think this is identical. I don't think this is the same beat. I think these are very similar.
Sure thing, bud.
Parallel thinking. Parallel thinking.
You're in your reality bubble. See you next time.